Hey team, Monday, February 22nd, the first day of the rest of your lives. Here we are. This is a very strange day. So some of you, if I'm reason I'm doing this right now, I guess on video, it's because I don't have to wear a mask or I don't have to wear my face shield, and I won't get to do that the rest of the day. So those of you that are with me, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take it nice and slow. To remind you, 8:15. If you're looking at this on due time, this is 8:15. It's not 8:45. It's not 9:15. You've started your day early. So flipping your schedule is important. The new schedule, to remind you, right? 8:15 to 8:53 is period one. Then we continue on with period two, 8:56 to 9:36, and 9:39 to 10:19 is period three. La la la. Basically, 11:05 is your lunch to 11:30, and then it's advisory after that, and then you finish the day. Okay, so let's get down to business. So today, we're going to do some growth mindset stuff, and hopefully we're back to our reading schedule. I kind of stepped away from it because it was really hard to manage. But bottom line is this. What is next is we are going to talk about informational text and informational writing. So we're basically in nonfiction world. Now, here's the thing. This little yellow box is important. This is going to require some growth mindset because a lot of you groan, right? The minute I say, we're going with nonfiction, you're going to go, okay? I did it too. But what I've learned in my world is that actually it gets like at the heart of what I love most about learning is that nonfiction has taught me more about the world than fiction has. Fiction is fun in terms of interest level and it's like a movie, right? But nonfiction is where I've learned most of my world. These books right here are 5 books. Blind Man's Bluff is about submarine warfare in the Cold War. This is about a woman who was kind of one of our first pioneers of cancer research. Totally fascinating story. This one's about how much we know about each other. This one's about my hometown, Chicago, and the Science Museum and the campus for the World's Fair. And this one's all the different times of history that the globe has basically wiped out all life on Earth. And then this one's about the brief history of us, human beings. This is like, I can't tell you how much I've read these books and been like, whoa, right? This is stuff that we have to embrace. So I'm going to need you to change your mindset and say nonfiction, bleh. This is where you really learn about the world. But it boils down to this. The growth mindset stems on one thing. What is something you failed at? Okay. And here's the thing. If you are in a fixed mindset, failure has a different frame. A fixed mindset does stuff like this. Things are going to change. I can't do anything about it. I can't do it. It's too hard. I'm not good at that. It's boring. Notice these are like sort of period statements, right? When you say these things, there's nothing afterwards. Then growth mindset is it's hard, but I can do it. I think I'm going to try it another way. I'm not good at that, but I am good at this. So I can't do that, but I can apply this skill to that, or I'll step away and try again. Failing is learning. This is the key to the growth mindset is you have to be okay with screwing up. Okay. Now, here's what today's going to boil down to, the learning pit. Nobody grows without failing a lot. If you think you're going to do things right, then you are set up for failure. Think about that. If you accept failure and embrace it, you are set up for success. It's like two opposites. And this is kind of our idea is that the learning pit, right? We have an idea, we try it out, it doesn't go as well as we think, then we're stuck here down at the bottom. We're like, oh, I don't know, man. And then you start to realize, I got to change my attitude. I got to work hard. And then you start having some success and boom, you've reached, look at that. It's a higher level than when you started. That's important. Okay. Now, the thing about this is that you learn when you fail and you're most uncomfortable. That's the whole thing I've learned in my life. And I can tell you this because I used to do this for a living. I worked on film sets, right? This is Tommy Lee Jones. My lowest moment probably in my early career was I was thrown into a situation where I was really uncomfortable and I had to do a job I wasn't ready for. And I actually cracked this guy. That's Robert Downey Jr., by the way. That is Iron Man, Tony Stark. That is the star. He was a bigger star than him. I cracked him in the skull accidentally with this right here. Now, that sounds terrible, right? And it was a low point, and I felt horrible, and I thought I'd get fired. I didn't. And guess what? I learned from it a lot. That very uncomfortable situation made me better. It was very uncomfortable. Another example would be like, so if you notice the Perseverance, this is the rover that just landed on Mars. 6 months, almost 7 month journey, and it landed safely. Are you kidding me? These people, like, in their minds, they were very uncomfortable. This was almost an impossible task. And guess what? There's this great Ben Sichi. He's one of the NASA, he's a jet propulsion lab scientist. He's an engineer. Here's what he says. Got a 2.4 GPA my first semester in college. That's not good in college. Thought maybe I wasn't cut out for engineering. Today I've landed 2 spacecraft on Mars and designing 1 for the moon. So this is the thing. Look at a statement right here. STEM is hard for everyone. Grades ultimately aren't what matters. Curiosity and persistence matter. That's it. That's the key, people. Don't worry about failing. Worry about learning. So we got to change our mindset. Another thing too is this is mind, this is body. Here's The Rock, right? He's training for his new movie. I mean, that's ridiculous. Look at all that, right? Do you think this looks fun? Look at his face. That's painful. That is hard. Look at his muscles, and his veins are almost popping. That's why he's successful, is because in his body, he pushes it to the limit, to its uncomfortable state, and he keeps doing it. Bottom line is, I'm not going to show this, but this is a list of 10 people who are so successful, but they couldn't have been unless they failed. So I'm going to have you watch this. It's just a 2-minute video. It just gets you fired up. So today we're going to set the stage for the rest of the year. Okay. We need to have a growth mindset. So we're going to make a poster. This is what we're going to do. Now, this is a pretty interesting one because this is very, like, it's kind of a cartoon, which is fantastic. This is something I would take longer for me to do. I could, but I would need more time, and I might do that. So the challenge is to make your own pit visual. The purpose is to accept that learning is failing. Today is our self-pump up project, okay? So step 1, you got to think of a time when you failed at something, but recovered. Don't think of a time that you never got out, okay? Now, that could be one moment in time. It could be one event. I can tell you about a weekend in my film career that was a disaster. One weekend. But it could be a course of 6 months, right? Maybe you started out this year terrible. Then it really hit bottom when you had all below 50%. Now you're actually all above 50 or all at C range. I don't know. It could be over a short amount of time or a long amount of time. Think of a way to visualize the pit of your experience. So think about what you do well, and then do that well. Sketch a rough draft, and then commit to a final version with polish. That's important. Use color, time, effort to produce something I want to put on my wall. That's what I would like to do, is put these up. Now, create your own pit of failure. For instance, for those of you, like, this would be a quick one for me, like, that covers my life. It's about wrestling. So when I was in kindergarten, I thought, like, oh, my wrestling career is going to be great. I'm going to kick butt. I'm going to never lose. And then I lost my first tournament. I cried. So I learned over time. I still liked it. But, like, when I got to about 7th and 8th grade, I still kind of liked it. And I thought, man, it's way harder. I'm starting to get nervous before meets, and I started to get scared. And then down here, when I got to high school, was my lowest point because I felt like I was trapped. I hated it. It's killing me. I can't wait for it to be over. I would cross out tournaments with big black Sharpies. Then my senior year, something sort of shifted. I was like, I can do this. I only have to do this one more year. Okay. And then actually I made it to the state finals, and I got second place. I got killed. But being in the state championship match is kind of fun. What I've learned is I've climbed out of the pit now because I honestly believe that if I hadn't gone through this pit with wrestling, I wouldn't be who I am. It's the single most important thing I've ever done because it was so hard. It is the reason why I've had success from every single possible job I've ever owned. So you could do it like this. Notice I did stars, but notice how neat it is, right? There's a style here. I don't love it. I did do this a little faster than I wanted. This one I spent a little more time on is that I made the pit a little deeper, and I talked about really just one moment in time I was building this wall. This is the front of my house right here. And this wall right here, oh my God, there was one point where these pins go into the wall and then they hold the brick, right? They hold the brick. The pattern was shifting and the pins weren't lining up. So I'm like, how is this wall going to stay? It could fall right forward if it's not, if the pins aren't going in and then holding the wall together. So my neighbor, I was like, at this point, I'm like, oh my God, I was so angry. And that's my bottom of the pit. I was literally going to give up and just say, this sucks. My neighbor comes over and he's like, you know what you need to do, Colin? You just got to do it. And I thought, and I figured it out. And I went and rented a big old drill and I drilled new holes so that the pins would go in. So I literally learned about having to improvise tools and materials when you're building a project. So I don't know how you want to do this. The more effort, the better, right? If you were able to do a cartoon like this because you have skills, that would be amazing. If it's really just visual and pictures, that's fine too. But notice these are real pictures. This is not a random person. This is my neighbor, Dwayne. This is my front of my house. That is the brick that screwed me up. This is just a visual. I think this one is probably the least expectation. This is bottom of the barrel expectation. This is minimal effort. So considerations, make it worth your time. Every assignment is an opportunity to learn. If you understand growth, then everything we do is a chance to learn. It's not doing, it's learning. You need at least 5 moments to describe your pit experience. The beginning, the signs of trouble, the low point, the signs of life and recovery, and the lesson learned. So same thing here, right? Here's the beginning, then signs of trouble. This is the low point. Signs of life, and I put 2 there where things are coming together, and then this is what I learned. You could have 10 moments if you want, but you need at least 5. And I want you to use visuals, drawings, graphics, color, design. Heck, who's to say you couldn't do like little mini videos here? And really, you can do this on paper, or you can do this. So I could not lined paper, but I could do it on paper and go artsy craftsy, or you could do it on a slideshow like this if you wanted. It's up to you. But the thing is, this is due tomorrow. So here's how I'm going to grade this. In class, you're going to turn in your final poster to me. So those of you, whether it's today or actually, if you're with me today, you will physically hand this to me Thursday. If you're with me tomorrow, then you're working on it today and you're handing it in tomorrow to me. At home, you can so if you don't come to school, you can turn in your final poster on the Schoology as a photo or a file you share with me. This is due on Tuesday. I'm going to say /Thursday because Thursday is when I'll see the cohort A students again. Here's how this is going to be. 3 points for quality, effort, and value. So that's, if I see something that looks like this is value. There's quality here. It's on the border of effort though. So this might be a 2.5. Okay. This would be a 3. This would be a 3. And I want to see some thoughtfulness. The other thing is being on time. So here's the deal. We're going to start switching our mindset. You got to be on time. So on time, you get 3 points. If it's late, you will get 1.5. A good effort and on time is 6 out of 6. That's awesome. If it's good effort, but it's late, that's the most you could get is 4.6, which is 75%. We have to start getting into the habit of doing our work on time. That's part of the pit. Okay, so that's your assignment for today and tomorrow. We're also going to do some reading, so I'm going to have you take care of that as some of your work. So I will be here for questions. I hope all of you are well, and let's get into a new rhythm here, people. Let's go. Things are looking up. Let's rise to the occasion. Bye-bye.